Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so no need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest beat coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like Folgers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s of pounds of dough. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live, it's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Business Minute. I'm your boy, Sirr, of the 2020 Podcast LLC. Please say the LLC now. I worked hard for that. And today I got another guest, Miss LaMesha Taylor of Naturally Me. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I cannot complain. Well, I could, but don't nobody want to hear that. They want to hear about you today because you my guest. So, Miss LaMesha, Naturally Me. If anybody was to ask exactly what Naturally Me is, what would you tell them?
With Naturally Me, it actually has two different meanings. The name itself became as a journey. When 2020 started, I wanted this year to be dedicated basically to myself. It was a year of me just forming into the woman that I needed to be. This year, I turned 30 years old, and Naturally Me is me being me. And that's how I actually came up with the name. But the brand itself is based off all natural products that cater to the skin, basically. I mean, we want the skin to be glowing, radiant, and just healthy skin all around.
All right. That's dope. And how long have you been active exactly?
How long have what now?
Have you been active with the business, Naturally Me?
It started in February, so roughly 8 months.
All right. You coming along that anniversary pretty soon. All right.
Yeah.
Now, with you starting a business, there's always like a focal point where you decide that you want to start it. It can start off as an idea becomes a dream becomes a plan, and a plan comes to fruition. What inspired you to start a business?
I wanted to start a business 5 years ago, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted it to be. And it was like, okay, I start one here, but what would it be? Like, I wanted to do a boutique at one time for children's clothing, plus size clothing. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Then earlier this year, actually in February, I had surgery, and I was at home just bored one day. And I was like, I was in recovery, and I was like, I'm going to start this business. And actually, I'm like a night owl. I was on Facebook one night, and a good friend of mine, she's a hairstylist, and she has a growing business in Florida. She put on Facebook that another aspiring stylist came to her and asked her how she was able to start her business. And she asked her, she said, how many hours a night do you sleep? She said, well, I 8 hours a night. She said, well, start sleeping 7. You'll be surprised what you do within an hour. So the week after I had my surgery, that whole week, I dedicated an hour to my business, planning it, like my products, my name, what I wanted to sell, how I wanted to market it. And that within a week, I had everything laid out, and that's how I started my business.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That is 100% true, because I do find myself waking up randomly, finding something to do, because there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
You know, so that is fact. I'm glad you brought that to light. So let me ask you another question. Like, along this way, you're coming along a 1-year anniversary, which is huge. Yes. So, and they always say that first 3 years are usually the toughest years. And I can attest to that. That's fact. So were there any obstacles so far that you came along in the way?
The biggest obstacle this year that I faced was when I first rolled out my candles. Like, you know, when you're doing in the candle making business, you're always wanting to roll it out. You always want to like be ahead of the game, or roll your products out when everyone else is doing it, but you can't be on everyone else's time. So The weekend Mother's Day, like I rolled out these candles, and I was like, I'm gonna roll these candles out. Wasn't ready for it. Didn't do a lot of testing on my candles, you know. So it's like over 50 candles that I had sold. I mean, they was buying them like hotcakes. I mean, buying them right. So 3 days after Mother's Day, I get a call, I get a text off of Facebook. Hey, my candle's not burning. So I'm just like, what's wrong with the candle? She sent me a picture of the wick is clogged from all the dye I had used, and I didn't know mica powders will actually clog your wick. So I had over 50 candles I had to redo for my customers.
Oh man.
And that was like my biggest obstacle because I was out of those candles and that product. Plus I had to make 50 more. So that was the biggest learning, that the lesson I learned. Patience is key when you're running the business. Like everything is not on your time, or don't pace yourself with the next person. Always take your time and make sure your product is right before you present it to your customers.
That's fact. And you only learn that through trial and error. So I think that's pretty cool that you found that out at an early stage, because a lot of people go years without finding that out, And I think it's awesome that you had a customer that would tell you, because a lot of times they won't tell you.
Social media
Exactly. You'll get blasted, So that's awesome that they thought about you enough to let you know, hey, this isn't going as planned. Can we fix it? And those are the customers you want. So cool for responding to that and attracting that type of clientele. So I want to take a step back to where we were talking about, the benefits of time and time management. How do you manage to balance work and your personal life with owning a business?
Well, right now with COVID and the pandemic and everything that's going on, I actually work from home. So I have a lot of time just in my home. So that's been a major plus for my business. So when I'm on a 15-minute break or an hour break, I'm in the kitchen making candles, I'm devoting my time to naturally me. And it's always like that. And when I clock out at 5, it's right back to the business.
I understand that. I'm always in between every gap I can, finding some way to alleviate myself. So I appreciate that. Yes, utilizing your time and time management is everything. And yes, I work from home as well. So it is a blessing, being able to, turn to the right and get something done when you need to, or on your lunch break, like cutting your break in half and working on things you need to. So that is a giant plus due to COVID. I did read somewhere that they said right now is the perfect time for creators and business owners, because a lot of workplaces are, working from home, they're transitioning, and this is the perfect time. You're already in your element because you're at home. So it's no excuse. I hear you. So has there, with coming along 8 months, has there been one memory so far, or one customer or client that has made your business pursuit like memorable? Like, has there been that one moment you're like, yeah, this is why I do it?
I think it's gonna be my first pop-up shop I ever did. I mean, that was like a high like I've never felt before. I mean, it was stupid. Like, I have a young lady that, I'm always trying to network with people. And when I started, I had a cousin, she had bought some of my products, and it was like when I first rolled out, it was a counter that I had called Vacation. Everybody was like, what is vacation? What is vacation? And I let them smell it, and it was like selling like hotcakes. So a lady I was networking with named Talila, she's a event planner here in Mississippi. She contacted me. She was like, hey, I need you at this pop-up shop. I'm like, I've never done a pop-up shop. I just started my business. I mean, I'm 2 months in. I think it was like, I'm probably been a month in. I was like, I'm 2 months in my business. I was like, I don't know anything about a pop-up shop, like, at all. So she was like, you'll do fine. I'm like, okay. So first pop-up, we get everything set up, and, first 30 minutes, it was, the vendors were there, but the people weren't, weren't customers. So I'm just like, okay, I'm getting kind of nervous. I'm just like, okay. And so like one customer come in, and everybody just started coming in behind each other, and it got crowded, packed. I think that first pop-up, my candles, they sold out. Body Butter's gone. I did good. And that was like a high. I was like, let's go. I mean, it's like a game. When I'm at a pop up, it's like a game to me. I'm like, let's go. Like I be in game mode. A morning, like tomorrow, the morning of a pop up shop, I'm in game mode. I'm like LeBron. Don't text me. None of that.
Hey, you gotta have that mindset. That's dope. That's dope. All right. Well, I'm glad that that's a high point for you, especially at pop-up shops. I visited several, and I know how frustrating it can be just waiting, because when you're waiting, you have nothing to do but think. That's all you have time to do but think. And that can be your worst place to be in that moment. All right. So let me switch gears a little bit, if you don't mind. I want to give kind of reverse of that situation. It would be unfair to sell someone on the highs of a dream and not discuss the lows. For every high, there's a low. It's a balance. So at any point in this journey, did you feel that you wouldn't be successful? And if so, who or what changed your mind?
The lows that I think in June it was. I had like a low, probably like when I first did my website. Like I didn't have any sales on my website for like those first 3 weeks, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not getting any traffic to my website. I'm like, what do I need to do? Or do I need to do giveaways? Like I'm rolling these products out. No one's coming to my website. I'm like, what do I need to do? And I think that's the biggest thing. Like when you're when you're rolling out something new, like as far as your website, anybody can inbox you on Facebook, hey, I cash up you this, for your products. But when you're wanting different people to visit your website so you can get more customers, the right way, that's, it's kind of like you feel kind of defeated sometimes.
Right. I totally understand where you're coming from there. With every grassroots business, there's this concept of time in our mind. We're always measuring ourselves within a time frame, and it's a lot of other factors that we have to look at and step outside of. Have to look at it holistically. It's not just us involved, and it's so easily to get in the mindset of what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And a lot of times it isn't that. Sometimes we just have to allow things to play out. Patience is key, especially in a business. Especially, you don't want to rush things. So that's kudos to you for sticking it through, because I've seen where a lot of people start a business and they quit within 6 months. But here you are on month number 8, almost at your anniversary. So keep going. All right. So my next question is kind of like my infamous question. This one could take a minute to answer, and I completely understand if it does.
Okay.
What would you like to see yourself as an entrepreneur with Naturally Me in 1 year, in 3 years, and then in 10 years?
In 1 year, I see Naturally Me as being more of a, let's see how to put it. I really don't know in a year. In a year, I would like to be, I think it's being more established as far as, I would like to have like my own little shop to do my my business, because I run my business out of my home. So I would actually like to be more established as having somewhere else to run my business. But as far as 3 years, I would like to be like another What's Happening Super. Like I would like to be, when you see my face, that's LaMesha of Naturally Me. Like, y'all have her products, her body butters, her facial oils. Like I would like for them to see my face and know I'm behind that brand. Like right. I want them to know this face.
Okay. All right. So my next question is more of a statement first. The hardest thing you can do is start up a business and share your idea with the world. Because like I said, being in your own mind and sharing your baby, something you created, it's nervous. You're afraid of what people are thinking or what they're going to say, what they're going to do. What words of encouragement would you have for someone who has an idea for a business, but they're afraid to act on it?
I'll never be afraid to act on it. Like Never be afraid. I wanted to start my business 5 years and I didn't know what it was. Sometimes we'll look at a person starting a business and we'll think like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it. Sometimes that's not always true. You don't know how long this dream has been manifesting. Mine's been 5 years in the making, and it took 2020 to just bring it out of me. Sometimes you're not at a stage in your life where you can run a business. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been ready for this business, like at all. Like I wasn't mature enough in the mind. I didn't have patience. I didn't have the business mindset to run a business, So never look at the next person and thinking if they're doing it, I should be doing it too. It's all about patience, timing. It's all about what you want to set for yourself, and patience is key. Patience is key. Patience is key. And I tell anybody, you can get a million no's, but the right yes is going to be your door. It's going to be the door to open up plenty of opportunities. Like if you have the right yes, that's all you need.
That is plain and simple. That is all it takes is one.
That's it.
All right. Miss LaMesha, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, whether it be about Naturally Me or just maybe want to pick and prod your brains about starting a business, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
The best way to get in contact with me will be Naturally Me 0414@gmail.com, or you can shop online with us at naturallyme.shop, or you can follow us on Instagram at naturally_me601.
All right, that is. Miss LaMesha Taylor, thank you so much for taking your time out today to inspire somebody, because I know somebody heard this and felt that. I know they did. So with that being said, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I know you got a big day tomorrow to prepare for. So to everybody that's been listening, this has been your boy, Sirr, Miss LaMesha Taylor of Naturally Me, and we are out.